Chapter 22. The Exchange Rate. The vibration in Arthur's bones had evolved. It was no longer a hum. It was a frequency that shattered thought. He sat on a bench in a playground in Bushwick. It was 2 a.m. The playground was a cage of chain-link fencing and cracked asphalt. Arthur hugged his knees. He was shivering so violently that his teeth had bitten through the inside of his cheek. The metallic taste of blood mixed with the bile in his throat. System status: critical failure. Core temp: fluctuating. Cognitive load: 5%. He had $84,000 in the bank, but he couldn't access it. He had lost his wallet in the chaos of the last 12 hours. Left on a bus, or dropped in the gutter, or picked from his pocket while he dozed in the subway. He had exactly $60 in cash tucked into his sock. $60. That was the budget for his salvation. He looked across the playground. Shadows moved near the handball courts. The glow of cigarettes punctuated the dark. Arthur stood up. His legs felt like stilts made of rotten wood. He walked toward the shadows. He needed a vendor. He approached a group of 3 young men. They stopped talking as he got close. They looked at his ruined dress shirt, his grime-streaked face, his wild eyes. "Lost abuelo?" one of them asked. He was wearing a puffer jacket that looked too warm for the night. "I am looking to execute a transaction," Arthur said. His voice was a dry croak, but he tried to inject the authority of a director. "I have liquidity." The men laughed. "Liquidity," the puffer jacket said. "You hear this guy? He got liquidity." He stepped closer to Arthur. He smelled of marijuana and cheap cologne. "What you need?" "Gabapentin," Arthur whispered. "Neurontin. Johnny's." The man frowned. "Man, get out of here with that weak shit. We don't serve nervous housewives." "I need GABA," Arthur pleaded. The dignity crumbled. "My nerves are firing without inhibition. I will pay. $60. The man looked at the others. 60. "He looks like a cop," the second man said. "Look at him," the puffer jacket scoffed. "He ain't a cop. He's a zombie." He turned back to Arthur. "I ain't got gabapentin. Nobody carries that bulk. But I got Lyrica." Arthur's brain, sluggish and dying, sparked. "Lyrica, pregabalin, mechanism of action, binds to the alpha-2 delta subunit of voltage-gated calcium channels. Potency, 6 times stronger than gabapentin. Bioavailability greater than 90%. It wasn't a bridge. It was a promotion. It was the nuclear option. "Lyrica," Arthur said. "What dosage?" 300s. Red and whites. 300 milligrams of Lyrica was equivalent to roughly 1,800 milligrams of gabapentin. 1 pill equaled his entire previous daily baseline. "How many for 60? Arthur asked. "For you? 3. 3 pills. 3 days of silence." "Deal," Arthur said. He reached into his sock. He pulled out the crumpled bills. The exchange was fast. Money went into a pocket. A small, clear baggie was pressed into Arthur's hand. "Get lost liquidity," the man said. Arthur walked away. He walked fast, stumbling over the cracked pavement. He found a stairwell leading down to the J train. It smelled of urine and bleach. He didn't wait to get on the train. He sat on the stairs. He opened the baggie. 3 capsules. Red and white. Pfizer. They looked like candy. They looked like death. Arthur didn't hesitate. He took one. He swallowed it dry. It scraped against his raw throat. He sat there counting the seconds. Pharmacokinetics. Peak plasma concentration in 1 hour. Onset in 30 minutes. He waited. At minute 25, the change began. It wasn't the slow, creeping warmth of gabapentin. It was a sledgehammer. The vibration in his bones stopped instantly. The nausea vanished. And then the euphoria hit. It was a rush of manic, electric energy. The world sharpened. The grime on the subway tiles looked like texture maps. The graffiti looked like calligraphy. Arthur stood up. He felt 10 feet tall. He felt smarter than he had ever felt in his life. The 300 milligrams of pregabalin flooded his starved receptors. It was too much. It was an overdose for a naive system, but for Arthur's tolerant brain it was perfection. He looked at his reflection in the subway tile. He was dirty. He was homeless. He was an addict buying controlled substances in a stairwell. But inside, the spreadsheet was green. System restore complete. Operating level, God mode. I need a laptop, Arthur said to the empty station. His voice echoed, strong and clear. I need to rewrite the kernel. He checked the baggie. 2 pills left. He had 48 hours of omnipotence. He walked down to the platform. He didn't know where the train was going. It didn't matter. He was the conductor now. Arthur Vane laughed, a bright, terrifying sound that bounced off the tunnel walls. He had upgraded the hardware. Now he just needed a new project to break.